Hey everybody, I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Today's quote: let your past remind you, not define you. I was reminded of my past about a week ago. I went back to where I spent 41 years of my life pastoring in a church. First time back since I retired a little over 2 years ago. And it was interesting. A lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, a lot of memories flashed through my mind as I sat in the service and was just sort of thinking about my time there. A lot of memories, a lot of thoughts, a lot of reminders. We all have a past. Some people have a very short past, they haven't been around that long. Others have a very long past. And it's sort of part of our history. It's what makes you the person you are today. We can be informed by our past, influenced by our past, but we don't want our past to totally define us. Being defined by your past will keep you stuck. We'll say things like, you are what happened to you, or you are what you did. People say that to us. We say it to ourselves, and it sort of puts a lid on our growth. It limits us. And we'll always feel like we can't do more. We can't do better. And we live with guilt and regrets and hurts. Our past can easily become like a hitching post that we're tied to, like a millstone that just weighs us down. We can't look up or look forward, or a life sentence that just holds us prisoner. And when our past defines us, it begins just to filter everything. Because of what happened or what we did, we say no instead of yes to opportunities. We refuse to try, or we hold back. We refuse to fully trust people because of people we knew. We miss out on all that we are and can be. It sounds trite, but our past is our past. It kind of belongs back there. There's no need to drag it up into the present or pull it forward into the future. It's the past. You can't change it. You can't redo it. It's your history. You just don't want to repeat it. You want to do it better. And yeah, let it inform you, but don't let it dictate or define you. We need to be able to focus on our future, like live the present to the fullest, but keep an eye on the future because you're going somewhere, and be able to think about where you want to go and what do you want to do? What do you want to be? However, we need to view our past in a better way if we're going to do this. So don't try to forget your past. I think that's probably impossible. Don't deny it or bury it, because it's just going to keep popping up at the most inopportune times. Our quote says, let your past remind you, not define you. So I think sometimes it's good to think about what you've been through, the things that have happened to you, the experiences that you've had, the fun experiences, the bad ones, the tragic ones, those hurts and betrayals, the losses, the victories, the illnesses, the healings. These are all a part of you. They shape you. Those bad choices that we have made, we all make, our failures that we've had to crawl through, our successes, the people that we have known, our educational experiences. The way to redeem these, the way to look back at all of these things that we've been through, And to redeem them is to ask, what have I learned from that? With everything that happens, there comes within that event, that experience, lessons to be learned. Whether it's something that happened to you or a choice you made, there are lessons there. If you've gone through a failure, why did that happen? What was going on that led to that? Why did I make that choice? What did I learn from these people that were a part of my life? How did I handle those successes I had? What can I learn about myself from the terrible experiences that I had to go through? So you don't want to ask just why it happened. Often that's not a question that's answered. But what can I learn is a good question, because it implies I'm moving forward, so I need to learn these lessons. It's always important to learn what we can. It's a sign of wisdom, and it prevents us from repeating these mistakes from our past. It's just valuable to learn about you. Learn your weaknesses. Learn your strengths. Get to know you. That's so important. This leads us to growth, leads us to maturity. It helps us realize important things about ourselves. A tragedy that we've been through can scar us deeply, but we can also realize lessons about us. I made it. Here I am. I'm stronger than I thought, I guess. I think it also helps when we look back to remember things and to look at what we can learn, but also to fix what we can. Sometimes you need to go back and apologize, or maybe ask for forgiveness, or make restitution if needed. And that's an important part of the past, because sometimes it's those things that sort of keep us stuck. I'm saying, though, these things can get a little complicated. So before you jump right in, I would get some advice so you can do it the right way and be careful. I like to look at how God has worked in my past. I'm a faith person. I've been upfront about that. And I know many of you are, but I know a lot of you aren't. I believe that God does not want our past to define us. He doesn't want you to stay stuck in your past. He doesn't want you to keep repeating it and reliving it. We read in Scripture of him having plans for his people. At one point he said, I have plans for you of a future and hope. We read stories of people whose lives have been set free from their past so that they can move forward. I think he's all about helping us change and move in a new direction. The old is past and the new is coming. He's about healing and hope and forgiveness and restoration. And sometimes people who represent God paint a pretty bleak picture of him. I heard one guy say in a sermon, I believe God's in a good mood today, so get ready to be blessed. And I thought, that's weird. That's how we are. We're in good moods, so we do good things. God's way beyond that kind of behavior. He's a redeemer, a restorer, a hope dispenser. I see his hand in my past. Many of you do. And for those of you that aren't people of faith, I just recommend, as you look back at your past and you look at some of those things that you made it through and you have no idea how, maybe it wasn't luck. Maybe it was the hand of God moving you along. And maybe he has more for you. Don't write him off. I think the reason that many times we are defined by our past is because of your approach to the past. You're looking at it, seeing all the bad things. You're looking at it, trying to forget it, or trying to bury it or hide it. Just be upfront about it. And just look at it and learn the lessons. Let your past remind you of where you've come from and what you've learned. And take charge of your past by just choosing to learn all you can so that you're free to make better choices. You're free to look forward to a future where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to be. Let your past remind you, not define you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I mean, it always means a lot. I say that, but I don't want to ever not say that. I'm so grateful that you take the few minutes and listen and click like. It's just encouraging and fun. And this whole YouTube thing is so new to me, and it's just a lot of fun. And I appreciate those of you that tune in and listen. I hope these are helpful. I hope today's was helpful. And maybe you know somebody that you can share it with, that it might encourage them, lift them up a little bit. And until next time, I hope you have a great week.